flashier than him. They looked a little more consistent than him. But now, no shenanigans. All focus, all serious tryhard mode. We are going to Infernal Shrines. And hooray for Infernal Shrines. I think that might be the first one we are casting today.
I think you might be right. And also, I mentioned Kerrigan has not been picked yet by CE. This is the map.
Now you're getting a little crazy, and I like it.
I am getting crazy, but we need to lower that hero's picked number. We need to make it so every hero has been picked. But for now, though, it is Infernal Shrines. It's BTG with the first ban, and they're very much going to be taking this seriously. It is very likely CE will too. By Rel.
Still beyond the game. Now, these first ban Irels, when you are actually the first picking team, it tells you two things, right? First of all, they don't want to have it in the game because they obviously expect KTY to put on quite the heyday on it. But also it tells you, or it tells other teams, that they don't necessarily feel very comfortable playing it themselves, right? Because otherwise, why would they ban it? So maybe they don't have the players who like to play her very well. Maybe they had bad results in scrims and practice games with it. So this is a really interesting thing to note as an analyst or a coach who does a little bit of scouting onto enemy teams.
It is, but with the Maiev as the counter ban, if it were against SPT, I would say they're trying to avoid the Bloodlust comp. But in this case, it's just Maiev is a really good hero. Genji is available for BTG now, as it's going to be the Phoenix as the first pick. Are we going to see that Genji again for a Lufel? I would hope so.
Oh yeah, I don't see any reason why a Lufel shouldn't go for the Genji again. His engages were spot on. His cooldown resets were super deadly. And I think what also separates Alufel from a lot of other Genjis in the league is the fact that he uses his X strike so lethally. Like, he knows exactly when to use it as an engage, or as an execution maneuver, right? We saw so many kills that just were enough thanks to the X strike.
Well, we don't see the X-Strike. Instead, we see a Hanzo, the other Shimada, and a Diablo for wins. Going for an aggressive blow-up style this time.
Yeah, and I think this is easily one of the best Diablo maps in the game, right? First of all, in those shrine areas, you have a lot of walls to, like, basically stomp people into. You have a lot of additional healing in those choke points as well, thanks to the flame build that we're probably going to see on the Ws. And, yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why not to pick the Diablo. Although, in all those trades and in all those standoffs today, Muradin has reigned supreme. He has beaten both Diablo counters up to this point and the Garrosh too. So Muradin right now, in China at least, our new #1 hero in terms of success and overall impact.
And here we see the Alexstrasza and the Muradin. Very tanky front line in the form of the Muradin. Once we see what solo laner we have, we'll see if it's going to be enough, though.
Alexstrasza picked relatively early. Yeah. Let's see what CE is trying to put against that.
Recheck our delay, by the way.
Sorry, let me see. I'm currently sitting at 11.4, 11.8.
11.5, perfect.
There we go.
Good job, clean feed.
25 seconds left for the ban. They are the ones picking first, so I don't think a Genji ban is needed unless they don't want to play it themselves. CE, that is. Could see maybe another soul laner ban, maybe a Malthael ban. Although they could also very well pick it themselves, to be honest. Like, that's the cool thing about Malthael right now. With Diablo and Muradin being the top 2 warriors in China at the moment, he's good against either.
There he goes. Malthael being removed, so that opens up potentially options for a classic. The Sonya could make a return here.
You may have a point there. Sonya, good in the shrine clear. Massive self-sustain. Deckard is taken away. No more slumber parties this time.
Well then, with no slumber parties, how on earth what possible use are we going to have for all these pillows? But no, we had sorry, my brain decided to go off and do its own thing there for a second. They already have a tank, already have a main range damage dealer. They need another bit of range damage, need a support and a solo laner. Solo laner's main priority. They can leave support until last because Alexstrasza is already on the other team. You can double support with Alexstrasza, but I doubt it's going to steal anything dangerous away. But they could also hide their last pick if they do pick a support now. There we go. Good call. Comes out.
I want to highlight this Deckard Bane, this Deckard ban a little more. What hurts Alexstrasza the most on an Abundance Circle? It is anti-healing or strong AoE damage. And guess what? Deckard Cain actually has a little both of something. He's got the Emerald Cube, which would have been absolutely disastrous, minus 75 healing. And he also has that late game power spike where he lands the Scroll of Stone Curse, and you're going to deal a massive amount of damage on all those targets grouping up in those circles, right? So for two reasons, this Deckard Cain ban makes a lot of sense. And of course, on top of that, we saw the splendid performance by 365 on that hero last game. So 3 good reasons to get rid of it, and I really like that Beyond the Game had the awareness to actually do it.
Apparently, you also said Deckard Bane, so...
Deckard Bane. Can you imagine Deckard Cain with a Bane voice? I think that's actually doable for him.
I mean, they're pretty similar.
They're pretty similar already.
Up.
You thought you were bored in the literature. I read about it. It was molded as a Kael'thas. I've been dropping
this because this is important. Kael'thas coming in for BTG. It's Grey Shrine Clear.
It is. All right. So the Stukov, of course, still a hero. That was an amazing Bane. Deckard Bane. There we go.
Thank you. How convenient. I had a glass on my desk to do that with so conveniently. As we see the Leoric as well. The Leoric I really like. The percentage damage against Blaze and the Diablo is absolutely insane. The Entomb can be defeated by Bunker, can get a little bit juked. But it's good. Really impressive.
We basically saw earlier how... Okay, Junkrat here. Okay, so a little bit of countering to the Alexstrasza, of course, with the Abundant Circles. But we saw in the earlier series, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was KT against A-Team. How... no, it was RPG, actually. How one good Drain Hope is enough to force out a panic reaction of a Blaze sometimes, right? See, even Nova found this Deckard Bane impression super amazing.
He enjoyed it. I just saw the best line someone put in the chat. No one cared who I was until I took out the books. Oh, it's so good. So clever. But looking at these drafts, I really like the Kael'thas. I really like the Leoric. I just quite like BTG's draft, but CE's is so much more stable. I'm gonna take the risky draft, and I'm gonna lean towards BTG for this one.
I'm gonna hold against it. I think CE has a pretty solid roster. They have Zhuyu on the Junkrat. He's been putting a lot of work on that hero. So I think CE has what it takes to make this a clean 2-0. I will, however, say this, that BTG's comp is quite the opposite of that. If it works like a charm, if they deliver the KT power spike, then they can definitely do it. 16 is going to be of importance, of course, with the Ignition. 13 also going to be very important. Let's see if they can do it. We're going to Infernal Shrines, and we're going to introduce those teams anew once more. And we see Beyond the Game with 619 on Muradin, LLK on the Phoenix. Druid is playing Alexstrasza this time, dancing on the Kael'thas, and 3 is playing Dibble. No, Dibbles, it is Leoric.
Dibble's light. And on the right-hand side, it's CE with a Luval on the Hanzo, Wind on the Diablo, 365 on the Stukov, KTY on the Blaze, and Zhuyu is playing the Junkrat. It's going to be a Soul Shield coming in for Diablo at first level.
And I cannot say this is a wrong decision here, because if you look at the roster of Beyond the Game, true, they've got a Phoenix, but Phoenix has a fair share of ability damage himself, right? With a Salvo, with his Q, and then of course we have the big man Kael'thas dropping those Flame Strikes, dropping a lot of AoE damage with the Phoenix as well. So if Diablo plays it correctly, I think he's going to be a very beefy boy.
Very beefy boy indeed. Concussion Mine is down. They're going to try and body block Muradin into it. Junkrat tried to preemptively pop it, but it does not land. Wind, as such, will escape. Nice predictive grenade from Zhuyu to try and catch out LLK. Instead, he's going to be the one who burns.
Oh. All right, there we go. I think that is already a good signal by Beyond the Game, dropping quite the statement there over to CE. And Muradin 619 just barely surviving as well. Hold that thought. Alufal is here. Can he get another Scather shot? Yes, he can, but not enough damage.
Barely survives, but he is alive, and that is the important bit. Now then, dancing. Currently alone in the bot lane. His wave clear is superb. His dueling potential without Living Bomb without having to waste Living Bomb is a little bit more difficult.
Okay, Wind is trying to basically get that return initiation now onto 619, and this is basically the name of the game, right? If they can get those combos in with Diablo initiation followed up by a Stuka of Silence, even a Murden could fall rather handsomely because the denial of his Dwarf Trust. Now, they saw 619 go in here. They saw him a mile away because Diablo was lurking in the bush here, but the counter-strike is not really that efficient up to this point, and as a result, they have to stall this mercenary camp a little longer here for the side of CE. Now, Steel Trap, very nicely done. Actually, Murden jumping out to safety yet again. Wind needs to be a little quicker on those overpower reactions.
And he does. If you want to lock someone down enough to kill him, you need to actually have the stun lock them down. You can't give them that opportunity to escape. We see the extra movement speed coming in for Alexstrasza on her level 4 for her entire team.
Yeah, as long as people receive the healing by the abundance, then they're going to get, as Tetra said, a nice movement speed, which is a little more of a teamwork, team-based talent choice rather than the exuberance, which would be the movement speed for Alexstrasza herself, as long as she is healthy enough to have it.
We'll see how that Surge of Vitality works out for her later on. We're seeing a China special here, not the Netherwind, which seems to be usual. Zhuyu is tanking through for the moment, does a little bit of counter damage, he's fine. But you can see there, that was not max range on that Gravity Labs. It is the China special, not going for Netherwind, instead the Energy Royal, the cooldown reduction and mana reduction if you are able to hit heroes.
As much as I like China variety on certain talent or certain hero builds, I don't like this one. I think the range is too important to be passed on in most cases. Maybe he's got the thought process of, you know, one of those tiny puny skeletons are going to intercept it anyways, so might not even go for the range. I still find it hard to be justified.
I mean, I quite like it as a defensive talent. If you're going for an engage from range composition, Surge of Vitality, movement speed, everyone pieces out. But if you're going for a long range, then I really do like Netherwind. But Energy Roll is a really good defensive talent, because it means you have it off cooldown more as a defensive point.
Here goes the Alexstrasza Dragon Queen. Druid actually popped it out of vision for CE, so they may have gotten surprised here a little bit. 24 for 29. I'm not sure if CE is willing to let that one go, because they're so close to actually getting this purple Arcane Punisher themselves. Alexstrasza now back in Elven human form. Can they get it? No, they do not. It goes over to Beyond the Game.
BTG with the steal. Remember, BTG are significantly higher than CE in terms of the points right now. 14 to, I say significantly, apparently they're 1 point apart. 14 to 13. As Zhuyu eats a lot of Punisher hits, but he's alive. He'll get healed up by 365 without too much trouble there. Now they can all begin focusing down this Punisher.
And that they will do successfully. They lose 2 towers, but hey, that is acceptable. Actually, KTY trying to go with a flank here by Blaze. Healing up very nicely, though, in time. And in the meantime, we saw a duel between Leoric and Junkrat in the bottom. Now we see the full Living Bomb build, probably, very likely, with KT's level 7, actually increasing the damage of Living Bombs with more heroes. With the more heroes, it spreads to.
And we see CE clearing up some mercenary camps, getting as much push value as possible, as they really want to take some structures early. They want to try and race themselves to level 10, so grabbing some towers would be fantastic now. These Impalers may assist them with such. KTY has appears to have been ganked.
Just a little bit too late there, that concussion mine by Junkrat. Yeah, almost there in time to save him. Phoenix now in trouble. Should have the teleport down.
Okay. Yeah, he decides not to teleport out and instead to go even deeper, and as such does a little bit of a health trade with Wind. He is healed up pretty quickly though.
And with Junkrat being occupied and busy in the top lane against Leoric, there's no tool to actually contest this Impaler camp. It'll go over to Beyond the Game, who's actually taken a large lead now in experience. If you look at it, Tetra, not only did they do a great job when it comes to dominating the objective, but also their soaking and, tower game has been so good, destroying several towers in the middle. Now in the bottom, we're going to see the same thing. And see, they're definitely going to have to take their sweet time to come back into this. And, feels really good if you have a Kael'thas in your team and you're doing well in the early game.
Oh yes, because you should get absolutely burst, especially by this Diablo who tries to go for an LK, but a very quick Gravity Lapse with that Energy Royal.
Spell Shield.
The Energy Royal as well. Spell Shield is used, but it's not enough. And there you saw the value of that cooldown reduction on that Energy Royal, that level 4 talent for Kael'thas, getting the double stun on Diablo and securing them the kill.
Yeah, good observation, and I totally agree with you. I find the Energy Royal a little less terrible right now. You could really see that in these, as you said, defensive moments, right, where Diablo charges into your team and you get the double stun in if you land the first one. You can really save people in dire need, and here we see the level 10 come in. Cleansing Flame, no big surprise here. KT is holding it.
Why would you troll us, KT? Well, let's look at their burst protection. Stukov, very little actually. Spell Shield on Diablo. Bunker. It's Bunker.
If you time it well, though, I just want to see it. Come on. Entomb into it. Look at that. They're trying to go for the Entomb Pyro.
I mean... But why, though?
Don't let your memes be dreams. Just do it.
My memes are not just dreams.
Type 1 in the chat for Pyro.
Oh, God.
They're already praying. They're already praying.
Holding. He's still holding. Why?
I think they're going to hold until the next objective phase, to be honest. Yep, here it goes. We're going to see it soon.
But Phoenix is so much better on the objective. Here comes Lightning Breath. Here comes Lightning Breath, the Riptide, Bunker coming out. Entomb is picked up. Flaming Swipe and Pyroblast. I stand corrected. I'm gonna predict right now that that's gonna get a grand total of 2 entire kills this game.
I think it's gonna be the deciding factor. I think it's gonna dominate.
Well, let's find out. Here comes the Dragon Strike as LOK gets dropped, but the Cleansing Flame keeping him alive. Good, secure health there. Pyroblast still not used in this fight. He's looking for his opportunity, but no one died in that fight. Great healing by the 2 supports.
So many weird heroic abilities. We saw the Dragon Strike doing nothing as per usual, but here we go. They come back.
He held it through Bunker. There's nothing to stop this happening except apparently Kael'thas, Diablo, just diving directly onto the support that's next to him. Pyroblast was interrupted this time, so it's on a 2-second cooldown at this point. KTY is in retreat. Dancing gets the stun, and 1 kill. Alright, they got it.
1 already. Needs 1 more for Tetris' prophecy to be fulfilled, and Diablo is getting absolutely pummeled here. Max Souls doesn't care. He comes back at least in a few seconds from now. But the first Pyroblast attempt was actually denied by Blaze getting out of range. Yeah. So that is, of course, another thing that makes Pyroblast so unreliable, right? Because it has a max casting range. And if during the channel time the target actually walks out of this casting range, it's going to go on a 10-second cooldown. So there's a lot of things that can mess it up. You know, an interrupt, the target walking out of range, the target disappearing. Yeah.
Props to Dancing, by the way. He was very patient and actually just didn't use the Pyroblast at all until after Bunker had been used. It's such a risky play, but it worked.
Kind of weird behavior there by that Punisher, just running and running and running against the gate. Actually helping CE a little bit to keep their towers alive, which is a big deal.
I never thought CE would fall to the Dragon Strike, but they're on the train now.
Well, BTG is certainly not going to fall to it. That's for sure. Because Dragon Strike is not going to make anyone fall.
CF0 kills. This is going really well for BTG. I'm going to be honest. This is a great start for them. Full level lead and a bit, in fact, almost a 2-level lead. CE, they need to find a comeback somewhere. I just really don't think that the Dragon Strike was the comeback tool they could have used.
I mean, let's see what kind of combo they were hoping for. Obviously, they wanted to go for the for the Lightning Breath. So maybe the Dragon's Breath, if you will. Slowing everyone down and then, you know, capitalizing on that with the tickling damage of the Twin Dragon. But yeah, that's about it, right? They have no more additional CC. With an Entomb, actually, if they had the Lyric instead of the Blaze and the Entomb, then I could have maybe seen the value there. You know, KT doesn't really have the chance to run away, doesn't have a blink, so if he gets trapped in the Entomb, the Dragon Strike might have actually gotten full value. But as it is right now, I fail to see it, and Wind needs to be very cautious, very careful, because if he engages there, they don't have level 13. They need to be super careful.
Fission Bomb coming in from Kael'thas, the extra radius on the explosion. This is so good for those objective fights.
It really is.
And if you can, and it of course means you're going to get more value from your level 7 because you're always going to have a better chance of it spreading thanks to that radius. Level 4 could be interesting. He can go for Ignite, which could really set up for those even more. Can even go for Twin Spears and just get the double free bomb and just have maximum sustain. Here's the shield. He's already dropped the arcane barrier. Is it enough? Alexstrasza with the heals, but he burns the cleansing flame, and the windup was too long.
Yeah, good pickup here, really, for CE. They were lurking around. They were trying to get that kill, to get that ambush eventually, and finally they were able to do so. One more stack missing for KT there, by the way. 29 out of 30 on the Mana Addict. Maybe that shield, probably very likely that shield could have saved him otherwise. So unfortunate. Never lucky. Baby Rage.
Well, no, he gets the barrier after 20.
Oh, he gets it already? My mistake then, sorry. Then I take that back, but still, 29 out of 30. Still gets a little bit of bonus mana. It's an infinite.
Is it actually out of 30? I thought it had no limit. I thought
what
that
do
was
you
the
mean?
point where you could just... I thought the barrier...
No, the mana stacking has no limit.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So it's not out of 30 technically. It's just he has 29.
Yeah, I was just baited. I thought it was 30 because the Observer also highlighted it, so maybe he was getting baited as well. But as it is, a new team fight has erupted, and LK just barely making it out. Are you kidding me?
He's hit by everything! Scatter arrow, bombs, blaze shots, and he barely gets out. But that's going to give CE the chance to begin this objective. Level 16 not yet here for BTG.
Not yet here. You're correct. The silence is good. The roasting late. This is how you blow a Meridian, ladies and gentlemen. No avatar used because of Stukov's silence.
Dragon Strike says hello as it cruises on by. It likes to look but doesn't touch. As we see it just not hit anyone. Wasn't good.
And this is how you do the bunker micro as well, by the way. Dodging the living bombs by Kel'Thas. Really cute little move there by Alufal's Hanzo. So denying a lot of the damage potential and securing themselves the first Punisher in the game for CE.
And that's going to put some pressure onto the mid lane. 3 gets a lovely Wraith Walk to prevent the Punisher from actually stunning him just in time. As level 16 is now hit for BTG. What kind of play can they make? We are going to see the Ignite coming in for Kel'Thas, so even more living bombs going to be applied around these fights. As they will kill Punisher in mid-form and actually survive. And BTG are going to look instead for a kill, but they can't chase quick enough. And the concussion mine is too disruptive.
Oh, look at that Junkrat, though. The long-distance poke with those grenades, enough to actually take down the middle fort after all, which is pretty amazing. Now we see the level 16 kick in for Alexstrasza. Speaking of Alexstrasza and Kel'Thas, they need to be very careful. Spell Shield, Activated Wind is a tanky Diablo right now. Gets trapped, though.
Is the Entomb. The Pyroblast is dodged by the bunker, but the Living Bomb's put right under the bunker as it dies, getting the Ignite value, but Wind is able to escape, and Lufal's in full retreat. KTY, the only one really in danger right now, but he is getting closed in on Ignite, even more value. Good stun by the energy roll, drain from the Aura. KTY trying to tank through, but he will go down.
That was so unfortunate for KTY. He looked like the healthiest member of CE. He tried to make that counterplay, you know, keeping them locked down in the backline, but unfortunately, the other team members of CE were so low and so far away that they actually had to sacrifice the Blaze. It's a sad time when that happens, but sometimes you can't avoid it. Bunker, of course, was still on cooldown because they had used it before in that previous engagement. Now we see Junkrat getting actually decent value in those team fights. I really do want to highlight Julian, how well he plays that.
And I agree. He has been doing a fantastic job. I still don't like the Dragon Strike.
No, it's terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm getting hung up.
Get
on
on the platform.
It,
what are you doing, CE?
Hey guys, this is us now.
Oh, no.
619 just steals that. There's the Entomb, and they're going to steal a kill on Diablo as well. This time, Dragon Strike forces a really bad positioning scenario for the BTG, and Wind using the bunker. He actually lives. Riptide dies.
Wow. Wind actually still survives. That is huge. But see, this is the kind of thing that happens if you're being too patient and too careful in that mercenary camp. I mean, I get the idea, right? CE wanted to stall it out a little longer, so they would have a good counter push into the top lane when everybody was ready. But yeah, BTG just basically smelled what their plan was, and they stole it away.
619 gets healed by the Abundance, gets that Surge of Vitality. bangs through a couple shots. A little, I think he was rooted by Junkrat there, as he is forced to pull it back. Slight XP lead still being held by BTG, but it's not much at this point.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of team fights in this game, haven't we? But not really much has come out of them, right? Whenever a team did win a team fight more or less decisively, structure-wise, we're still seeing a lot of them left in the game. 2 forts, albeit very low for CE. We still see 2 forts top and bottom for BTG. All the keeps are largely untouched here. So as time goes by and as those punishers are going to scale a little higher, I think we're definitely going to see a little more structural damage done, especially with that Arcane Punisher. So this is definitely going to be one that neither of the team just wants to let go just like that.
Flame Strike's coming in. It's going to be hard to dodge for CE here. I'm curious if we'll see the Master of Flames at level 20. That can be super cool at 3. Finds a Zuyu. Zuyu finds a way over the wall, using that Ripper Air once again as an escape tool. As we see Blaze moving forward. He's frontlining because he also has a spell shield now, which gives him a real shield. Good silence, but it's very interrupted quite quickly. Riptire into the backline. Does great damage to Druid, who is now the target. The Junkrat damage coming in. Druid will fall here to the Lightning Breath.
And Alex Strasser was zoned out completely. Dancing, unfortunately, as well there. Couldn't really do much in that team fight. So much damage and pressure being put onto the backline of BTG. And although the Fallen Shaman camp was pushing in their favor, as you can see in the top lane right now, CE is definitely going to lose that fort. They can now afford to send Blaze back. There we go. He's got the greatest wave clear. And with that purple Punisher, they're going to still have enough pressure to take down this bottom fort. But here we see all that value, all that damage from one Riptire. On the KT, on the Alex Strasser, he ends up falling there as well. No support, no heal. And that was all she wrote.
Pretty sure Riptire actually interrupted Cleansing Flame there. It went on a 10-second cooldown, so really nicely done. That would have absolutely saved Alex Strasser's life. So good to see that. On the bright side for BTG, though, if CE overextend this, Blaze is currently in mid/top lane, which means...
Muradin?
Wow, Muradin. I was going to say good news because it means Flame Strike can't be blocked, but it turns out you could also just lose your tank, which is not going to give you the best scenario for an engage. And
that's, ladies and gentlemen, why you never, ever underestimate the power of a Stukov, right? The silence can be so deadly. Now, don't spread those bombs too much. CE is going to actually hurt you. That's the second, third, fourth tick that they actually suffer from. At least Stukov has enough AoE healing to keep them in decent shape for now. The Punisher has been dealt with. They're just going to be happy and satisfied with that bottom keep. And CE walks away with... Or are they? Are they trying to bait another kill with the level 20?
I think they're trying to bait, which is why 3 should just straight up leave now and just let himself revive a little bit later. Hanzo going for the max cooldown reduction on the Dragon Strike here. This is where it starts to make sense. It's a commitment like BFG of, or old BFG, where you're committing to basically having no heroic for a while. Nice dodge with the energy roll there.
The Hellgate being used for that as well.
Yeah, it's a long cooldown to burn. Yeah, it's a bit like old BFG where you're committing to not really having a heroic for a while in exchange for having a really good level 20. This means that your zoning potential now, having those consistent Dragon Strikes, is really big.
Tetcher, we have yet to see a good Pyro. I mean, they had one good one in the beginning there, but after that, it has kind of disappeared from those team fights. Either the target ran out of the casting range and it was put on a 10-second cooldown, or there was too much pressure being put onto the KT, so he couldn't even afford to stand still. Yeah, up to this point, level 10 is not paying off, although it made us all very happy because we wanted to see it in an actual pro game. He's probably going to hate himself right now, though.
Well, we know Dancing is going to get at least one more kill with this Pyroblast, so it's not so bad. And now he has level 20. It's going to go with Flamethrower. Going to try and make the value out of Ignite there instead of going for the Master of Flames and just, you know, trusting the enemies to stand still.
Which makes sense because the more range you can keep between yourself and those super dangerous frontline engagers of CE, the more you're going to be able to also take your time to aim that Pyro. So basically, I like the range play. It's gonna it's not going to have good synergy with his level 4, kind of, because the lower range is going to mean that he has to get a little bit closer to get that stun off. But since it was meant to be used defensively in the first place, I don't think that's going to matter too much.
Yeah, it's not so bad here. You can see the team moving as a group. CE setting up the trap. Hanzo's on their side, so there's no vision. Luckily, though, BTG doesn't seem to care. They just don't go that way. They instead move up and they're going to grab their Fallen Shaman camp. CE, they remain hidden. waiting to spring the trap.
Yeah.
They
And
get
this is
bored,
actually a really good trap, or in theory it was a really good trap, because they definitely expected someone maybe to rotate down to the bottom lane, right? Because there's a mercenary camp, there's catapults pushing in there, so maybe if that target by Beyond the Game hadn't rotated very carefully and found safe pathing, then they would have definitely become a victim of that trap, as you said, Tetra. But BTG realized it was safer for them to take the mercenary camp first and then send Leoric down there, so no immediate disadvantage for them, at least until now.
Objective is active. Siege Giant Camp still pushing the bot lane. No one's dealt with it yet. Leoric has not rotated. He's just moving up because he has Buried Alive. He's kind of needed for this. We may see BTG sacrificing core health in exchange for this fight as 3 moves forward. Luful dives over to avoid. The longer this goes on, the more bots going to push in. Need to make a move, BTG.
Man, Leoric wasn't even able to clear the entire bottom lane, right? Because they realized, you know what, we need everybody in that shrine phase. The 2-man silence by Buried Alive is good. Bunker is better.
The bunker gets them out of the silence, but the bunker is being focused. Pyroblast on Luful. The salvo does not land. Luful is low. 3 chasing him down. Good flaming flame with the control chaos to get everyone away, but KTY has given his life for this.
1-1 though. 3 also ends up falling on the Leoric.
Bull's dying. Shield is going down. I think the minions will clear up at least the catapults here, but there's still more coming. This is just going to keep happening.
Yeah. They really need to win this fight right now, BTG. Time is against their side here. The Dragon Strike actually missing completely there by Luful, and now Juyu is in a lot of trouble. Does he have another concussion? I don't think he has. He completes his quest, but no effect being seen here immediately. The Flaming Lightning Breath here going down on the Alexstrasza, raining flames and fire onto her. It's now a 3 versus 3, 34 to 31. Luful needs to be so careful.
36, here comes the Kael'thas damage, trying to race through, 619 for the zoning. LK, I think he's just going to give his life for the objective, and he does. No, Indomitable Spirit, he gets out, Buried Alive onto Stukov, Flame Strike, see a 365, and that's going to be a kill. BTG steal that objective.
Wow.
They steal the kill onto Stukov, and right now they need to steal a port because their core is facing catapults.
And not only their core is in trouble, but also the top lane. As you can see, the Fallen Shaman knocking on the front door. That alone is going to be enough to actually take down the keep. A good leash over the wall for Wind right now. It is such a heated moment in this game. So many things had to be taken back here for Beyond the Game. This is not their full pushing potential here, because Leoric needs to keep this, the base safe, and Alexstrasza is still not here to reinforce and keep that push alive. And yep, just like that, keep won't even end up falling.
But the fact is, BTG are alive. If that Punisher had come against them, it would have been bad. They didn't clear this. I guess they cleared bot first, but either way, keep goes down. And that's bad news for BTG. They didn't get a keep, and now they've lost another one of their own. This is not great. Not great. CE still with the experience advantage, definitely with the structure advantage. They're looking good.
They're looking good indeed. The Blessing of the Red is now live for Alexstrasza, which means in due time, she's going to be able to provide 500 bonus health onto every single member in their team. And especially for Leoric and Muradin, that's going to be good. But also for the Phoenix, because that means even when the shield gets pierced, he's going to be much more tanky than usual. But here we saw the replay. The bunker dodge was so good on that Pyro and on the bombs as well. Actually, Pyro coming in through right now, dealing 2/3 of Hanzo's health. But here we go. The teams are not giving us enough time to breathe. They're going for another team fight.
Need to be careful where they stand, because Entomb is off cooldown, and they were all sitting in the bunker. So the second that expired, that could have been a very easy Entomb for 3. But they're able to zone away instead, and as such, CE able to back up. It's going to give BTG some time to rotate into the lanes and start to clean them up, because they're a mess.
Yeah, those Dragon Strikes are not really doing anything. I mean, even if they hit, I don't think they wouldn't do as much as Luful would like to, but so far, they've been dodged every single time pretty easily by Beyond the Game. But once again, back to what you were saying, Tetra. I think you basically hit the nail on the head there, saying they should have defended the top lane first, right? The core doesn't fall that quickly to just 2 catapults, but keeping the keep safe against the Fallen Shaman was definitely the higher priority. So with a sloppy defense by Leoric, unfortunately, they took another pretty heavy blow there.
Vanguard sieging in. See hovering around the area, but they don't want to engage here. They're happy to give this over and just do some poke damage in the meantime. And instead, they get a kill on 3, who's trying to janitor the lane.
And although janitor the lane, I see what you did there. Although Leoric comes back a little quicker than other heroes, a death at this stage, at this point in time, is going to be really crippling, because guess what's going to happen now? With Hanzo, with Junkrat, the double Overwatch squad from a long range, they're just going to try to chip down the buildings a little more here. Look at those cannonballs. So much damage done by Zuyu. They're going to demolish this minion wave. And now with Leoric actually being one of the best wave clearer there as well, next to Kalthas, this Ford is going to take, this keep is going to take more and more damage.
We're starting to get down to the point of BTG having to basically get a team wipe to win the game. Their keep does survive. You can see the fact is Phoenix has been spending a lot of time in this bot lane, even while that keep assault was happening, making sure that their catapults are at least mostly cleaned up, so they have some time to actually try and make a play in this top lane. There's still more catapults on the way bot, though.
At this point, I feel like CE doesn't even need to win this objective to win the game, because at any given point, could they go for the bottom lane, or the middle lane, or the top lane, and just backdoor the core, I feel like. So, as long as they don't get a team wipe, as you said, as long as BTG doesn't get a team wipe, I think CE is going to be in a pretty okay location. Once again, though, they finally were lightning speed reflexes, though, on that Wraith Walk, preventing yet another death. Super well played by 3 this time around.
Wind getting drained away there. Not too bad, not too impactful yet. They didn't go for Crushing Hope, like we had seen earlier, so not the percentage damage isn't the worst. 3 needs to survive. That buried alive is important for saving the game. Gets it on sort of Diablo, who gets a little bit stuck in the wall. Dragon Strike gets some decent damage this time, actually. Not so bad. Riptire tries to stun it out, but it doesn't do that much damage, actually. They're able to block it. 3 still alive. The Entomb back in 30 seconds here, as everyone from BTG are retreating. 2 catapults, about to be 3 in the bot lane. Looks like they might just give up this Punisher.
They either give up this Punisher and defend, or they go all in on this. But look at the health bars. They're not looking that healthy, are they? The Leoric is looking weak. Druid is looking weak on that Alexstrasza, which is a big deal. Murden is going to get engaged upon and silenced immediately by the Stukov as well. Dragon Strike hitting 2 members all the time with a full duration.
Salvo does good damage. Zuyu is dropped low. Flame strikes from behind. The core is... They've just lost the game. The core is just dying.
OP.
No one dealing with that? Cool. GG. That is going to be game number 2 going over to CE. Phoenix comes back. It's not in time. 1 more shot, and that is not lethal. Phoenix saved the game. In the meantime, Alexstrasza, though, has already died. Down goes Kael'thas. They pushed in second. They saw Phoenix was gone. 3 goes down. 619 is desperately trying to hold this. LLK drops good damage onto Oliver. He actually kill him, but now he's 2v4, sorry. There's still a 619 hit. He's trying to delay, but there's still more catapults involved.
He's got more health now thanks to Alexstrasza's Blessing of the Red. He also should have another life thanks to his level 20 Indomitable Spirit. Here we go.
But the problem is he's now run away from his base, and Diablo is just running towards his base. And that's where Diablo wants to be, and not where Phoenix wants to be. Phoenix gets back, actually, though. It's 2 versus 1. Phoenix comes in. Last-ditch effort. There's a catapult coming towards the core as well from bot lane. KTY is here, too. And that is GGC takes game number 2. And that's the full 3 points. They actually overtake BTG now.
What a savage and brutal way to die if you're beyond the game. You're getting choked out. CE played this game like an anaconda would. You know, they had no chance of escaping the fangs there.